Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the last, but I think the most exciting session today, SR in the new normal. Before we start, just a small reminder, we recommend you to use Q&A session to time in question instead of using general chat. You can also upvote question already asked to have moderator pick up question based on the popularity. You can also weekly react and offer motivation and applause to the speaker using emoji at the bottom navigation bar, or you can click on raise hand icon if you want to come on stage with speaker on Q&A session. And now just a little bit welcome to our mentor today, Mr. Casey Yan. Casey Yan is former General HR Head, Asia Pacific for Swiss Injury Insurance, Freescale, Semiconductor, and Motorola. Currently, he is Senior Principal Consultant at ITD World and Corporate Director at ITD Asia. Director of ARTDO International. Casey Yan has more than 15 years in manufacturing, supply chain management, and 25 years in FROD and chain management. And now, please welcome Casey Yan.
Thank you. Okay, it's an honor and a privilege to be asked to moderate this session of HR in the new normal. I think Ritago and ITD World has done an excellent job in recruiting three very powerful speakers on this subject. So what I'm going to be doing is I will be introducing the speaker one at a time as they come up. Each speaker will be given 15 minutes, and I'm sure, okay, they will have a lot of exciting, ideas and, frameworks, okay, to be able to work with every one of the participants. As indicated by Mr. Kwa, in the box, you have the feed, and in the feed, please use that for any general comments, any specific, compliments, agreement, alignment that you have with the speakers. Please feel free to use that. If you have any specific questions, log it into the Q&A. So as a moderator, I will be monitoring both the feed as well as the Q&A. We will only do the Q&As after all the three speakers have finished their delivery. Okay, so with that, our first speaker is a very, very renowned and internationally acclaimed HR executive. His name is Bapak Naufal Mahfudz, and he's the Director of HR and General Affairs for BPJS Ketenagakerajaan, and he also sits on the steering committee of the Indonesian Competence Movement. Bapak Naufal, as I said, okay, is an internationally acclaimed and multi-awarded HR executive. And among his many, many awards is that in 2017, he was the Best 10 Indonesian Human Capital Director. 2018, he was recognized with the Leadership Award by Carnegie Indonesia. In 2019, again, he was recognized as the Asia Chief of Human Resource Officer of the Year Award. In 2020 is an absolutely, fantastic year for Bapak Naufal. He was voted the 50 most fabulous global HR leaders. And then he was also nominated, okay, and won the Best of the Best Indonesian Human Capital Director Award. And then, as of today, is the ARTDO 2020 HRD Individual Award. He has over 25 years of HR experience in different organizations at governmental, government-linked, as well as private enterprise. Antara, Persero, Sony Indonesia, and now BPJS Ketenagakerajaan. Okay, his topic is humanizing human capital in the new normal. Over to you, Bapak.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tan. Mr. Yan, Bapak Yan, thank you very much for the time given to me. Yeah, good morning, good evening, good afternoon for all of us. Yeah, on this occasion, I will deliver a paper with the topic of humanizing of human capital in the new normal. Mr. Yan, let me share my slide by myself. The topic is humanizing human capital in the new normal. As Mr. Yan said, we are BPJS Ketenagakerjaan. This is the Labor Social Security Agency in Indonesia. We have two social security agency in Indonesia, Health Social Security Agency and the Labor Social Security Agency. For us, protection for all workers in Indonesia and for the BPJS Kesehatan or Health Social Security Agency is protection for the all citizen in Indonesia. And we work by base law number 40, and number 24. This is our vision to become the national pride in social security administering body, which is trustworthy, well managed, and excellent in operation and services. And we have three missions, include protecting and welfare of all workers and their families, increase worker productivity and competitiveness, also supporting the development and independence of national economy of Indonesia. As we know, the world is facing double, or we call tandem disruption. Yeah, tandem is technology and pandemic disruption. 2 or 3, 5 years ago, we facing disruption of digital technology. Now in this year, we facing the pandemic disruption. Brian Tracy said that the true test of leadership is how well you function in a crisis. How in Indonesia, our president on 15 March 2020 has called on all Indonesians to practice what epidemiologists call social distancing to slow the spread of COVID-19 in the country. He said, under the current condition, it is time for us to work from home, study from home, and worship, praying at home. It is time for us to work together, to help each other, to unite and cooperate. We want this to become a community movement so that the COVID-19 problem can be addressed to the fullest. This is our president said. And also our governor in the Jakarta city on 3rd April 2020 issued the governance call number 9 2020 on the use of masks to prevent COVID-19. Yeah, he said we call on citizens to wear masks appropriately, do physical distancing, wash hands with soap often, and do the ethic of coughing or sneezing. How do we manage human capital in the new normal era? Yeah, especially in our organization at BP Jam Sostek or BPJS Ketenagakerjaan. Our CEO said on 16 March 2020, he said that the main thing is the safety and health of employee. And I also said about the learning, the learning must go on. Distant learning is a solution. This is our message to to all employee. And how do we prevent COVID-19 transmission in the workplace? Health prevention protocol at the workplace, we conduct regular disinfection on the floor, walls, and building devices of the workplace. Then all employee must wear the protective equipment like face shield and mask, also the gloves. Also, all employees are obliged to use mask every day. Yeah. Then we conduct monitoring of employee body temperature in every day, in every morning. Yeah, when they enter the office. Then all employees must not use crowded lifts, and we maintain the minimum distance between employees within 1.5 meters. And all employees must avoid the crowds. Also, all employees are obliged to wash hands regularly, minimum 6 times per day for 20 seconds. And we provide adequate information on COVID-19 prevention to employees. We provide also vitamins and nutrients for the employees. And for the 6 employees are prohibited coming to the office to work. Yeah, this is very dangerous for the others employee. And also we do not shake hands or no hugs between employees and customer, not only between employees and also for the customers. We know greeting around the world we avoid now if we have a direct contact. Yeah, we just use for like namaste for India, yeah? Indian, and then also ojigi, Japanese, yeah, and others. Then not contact direct in the with the others. To health prevention protocol at workplace, we do relay out to meet the requirement of physical distancing at the workplace. Yeah, we really lay out of the workplace. How about the employee transfer policy? First, we prioritizing employee safety. Yeah, because of we have more area in Indonesia. Yeah, we prioritizing employee safety, and secondly, employee transfer by digital base, then tightening the transfer process. Also, the important thing, we reformulate the manpower planning. Then, how to maintain employee productivity in the pandemic era? Even at home, work from home is still working, not on holiday. We said to all employees, even at home, every employee work from home is still working. Yeah. This is work from home guidelines for employee to more productive when working remotely. Yeah, every day the employee must wake up early. For example, 15 minutes to praying, 15 minutes to exercise, take a shower, yeah, make wear the uniform, and also pretend to go to the office. This is the kind of to more productive when they working remotely. Then keep having set the working hours like working hours in office. Also in their home, they set a special room for work. The important thing also is to stay connected and keeping to-do lists, yeah, and also maintaining the connection and eliminate the distraction, yeah, even at home. Okay, now also the keep reporting, take a break, and lunch on time. This is the work from home guidelines for employees. Productivity by using Vicon meeting using video conferencing to comply with physical distancing protocols in work. The method of working with video conference meeting is the right choice as an alternative to preventing the spread of the coronavirus in the workplace and also maintaining productivity. Also, we conduct the digital distance learning, yeah, with also the digital library. This distance learning in the new normal era through e-learning, Zoom, webinar, and digital library to continuously improve employee competence and accelerate solving operational problems. Now, how do we serve customer in the new normal era? All frontline employees must adapt to physical distance when serving customer without reducing the quality of our service. Yeah, this is we call services without physical contact in bahasa lapak asik. Yeah, pelayanan tanpa kontak fisik, ya. Every customer are served by using a communication tools via a video monitor or internal video communication atau intervicon. Also selling product without physical contact. Then how to adapt? Yeah, first by else. Secondly, first by self, and third we able to conduct, and fourth we have a habituation, and for the five state is culture. This is the stage in normal era, pandemic era, in the new normal era. Maybe in the new normal era, we conduct work from anywhere. This is solidarity program for us, provide accident and death insurance for COVID-19 volunteers, and also provide personal protective equipment for doctor and medical personnel. This is our last, my last slide. Charles Robert Darwin said, but it is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one that is most responsive to change. Keys to success in facing tandem disruption or double disruption are adapt, survive, and live in harmony. Okay, Ms. Rian, thank you. This is my presentation. I return to you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bapak Naufal. Lots of sharing. Just a reminder to all the participants, if you like what you have heard from Bapak, please feel free to use the feed to provide your affirmation. I see lots of thumbs up. Okay, so good job. Okay, Bapak Naufal. All right. So again, okay. So let's go into the second speaker. Okay, another very, very distinguished speaker that we have arranged for you. Let me see. Okay, right. Okay, and she is none other than Puan Farah Othman. And Puan Farah is the Vice President of People and Capability Development of Magic Malaysia. Puan Farah has been a practitioner in the realm of strategic HR, covering things like talent management, organization development, human resource planning, cultural transformation, and employee engagement. So she is a very, very seasoned HR executive. And she has also accumulated quite a bit of strategic and practical knowledge through her exposure in different startup organizations, corporate entities, as well as government-linked companies. All right, now she is a master certified coach and mentor expert. So with that, Puan Farah's interesting topic is on promoting workplace innovation through cultural transformation post-COVID-19 from an HR perspective. Over to you, Puan Farah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Casey, for the gracious introduction of myself. Today, I have with me my colleague, Khairul Mazwan, who will be assisting me on the slides presentation. It is indeed my great pleasure to be with all of you today and to share with all of you on the topic of promoting innovation and cultural transformation post-COVID-19 from a HR perspective. Before I start on my presentation, I would like to introduce MAGIC, Malaysian Global Innovation and Creativity Center, that is located in Cyberjaya, and I am currently attached to MAGIC. MAGIC is a government-linked company incorporated in April 2014, and currently we are under the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. MAGIC plays a significant role in providing capacity for startups and social entrepreneurs here in Malaysia and across the region. Through our programs, we help startups with the capacity building, namely accelerators, boot camps, workshops, online learning, webinars, and outreach. And we enable, navigate, and facilitate the ecosystem towards this capacity building and market access, funding opportunities, and network. Moving on to the next slide, the fast facts about Magic. So from 2014 until 2019, we have run over 1,000 total conducted nationwide, and it has impacted over 100,000 individuals trained through our programs. And these also contributed to the economic impact at 468 million US dollar from the investment raised and revenue generated. That is a bit of information about Magic. So moving on to the next. So interestingly enough, when pandemic hit the global, including Malaysia, we believe in Magic. We believe in communication as a key strategic things that HR should adopt. So we focus on communication, transformational people, and culture. But during pandemic, we focus a lot more on all aspects, and we want to unleash the potential of leaders among the young workforce that we have. So with the three key aims: inspiring leadership, moving from command and control, and empower people managers. Engage with all these people managers and also the team across the organization through our WOW, that is a way of work, and minds through positive reinforcement of think beyond, charge up, and step. A very strong cultural engagement. We excite people about the art of possibilities, instill in themselves about self-confidence, and heighten their self-esteem, and equipping them with skills and confidence to be successful, and embed a positive can-do culture, and excellent value proposition, that is to build a reputation as a great place to work with all employees as our advocates. Moving on to the next slide. Before that, I would like to share with all of you an article written by World Economic Forum covering a topic about how COVID-19 changed the world of work for good, with Adam Grant, a professor of management and psychology at the University of Pennsylvania Wharton School, an organization psychologist himself, best-selling author and host of the podcast Work Life. He said that some people will suffer from post-traumatic stress, but there may also be some traumatic growth in which people realize their inner strength and a deep sense of gratitude. And this is where a company should focus and enable to improve the working environment that will naturally allow these interpersonal self-recognitions and be there to celebrate small wins together. Yes, just to share with all of you on how do we achieve the communication, like what are the enablers of the three elements that I have shared on the previous slides. We empower people managers by promoting leadership and encourages cross-functional teams. And if you can see on the slide, it is actually a network structure that we adopt. And yes, we are kind of a flat organization, although we are a government-linked company. That is rarely where you have a flat organization structure. But we're very fortunate because in running programs, we are more agile and we are more organic in that sense. And generation of new ideas is easier through this flat structure. Is very fast and very focused. And this way, this structure actually helps to reduce cost and increase flexibility. And hence, that's why in Magic, it is a lot easier for magicians. That's how we call ourselves. that's how we can really, really well with the changes that is coming with the pandemic COVID-19. And through this structure, I believe being adopted in Magic, at least for the 5 years that I have spent in Magic, is where the team leaders or the people managers have the foresight, futuristic and factual. That is the ability to adapt with the changes in structure, the systems, and also the processes. And that is again to share with all of you that how the changes that is taking place in Magic and also in the country is okay and something that the magicians can stomach. Yes, moving on. Next slide is yeah. So the priority that was set for HR year 2020 has changed significantly due to the pandemic. Since then, HR has always been looking into crisis response and emphasizing on health and safety and essential services and the virtualization of work and education to all staff, because it is something new and it is something that we need to not just communicate but to help them and assist them on how to adapt to the changes. So we have introduced alternative working arrangement plan. It is actually a plan that provides flexibility and options for the team to work, whether it is a split team, work from home, or a virtual office. A split team is where two different teams is actually working alternately. While team A is actually working at the office, team B will just be performing the work from home and they will actually rotate. And work from home is also where we are currently now in some states and some districts in Malaysia. We are to be performing work from home, and it's actually a mandatory and it's an order from the government. And we also provide a very clear guideline on how do you perform your work while you are working from home. Last but not least is actually the virtual office. And again, in all these three working arrangement plan is where we provide tools and also a platform that all magicians can work remotely. We have a Google Drive, we have online meeting, we have webinars, we have online learning. Is a learning management system that is not just being introduced during COVID, but even before COVID, we have been leveraging on this integrated learning platform. Moving on to the next slide is where I would like to share with all of you about way of work. It is actually our culture and the way we do things. In Magic, we celebrate with each other when our colleagues and our team members show the spirit of charge up, step forward, and think beyond. And these are actually the golden rule in Magic that bring the spirit of camaraderie and togetherness. And if you notice, the word charge up, step forward, and think beyond is actually very action oriented, and it's something that is relatable, especially to the younger generations, young people. It is not difficult for them. They don't have to memorize those words. It is something that is something that they can embrace and they practice every day while performing their work activities and practices. Let me share with you on Charge Up. So in Magic, Charge Up by Shared Passion is where we cheer each other's on and have each other's back to ensure our team success. So we are always together, very resourceful teams. And mind you that in Magic, over about 65% of our Magic is actually among magicians are actually 35 years and below. So they are very energetic, they have a lot of energy and they're very passionate about what they do. And this has indeed create a very conducive working environment with the diversity and the different kind of background that we have. So we applaud and recognize each other's contribution to success. Another way of work that we have is Step Forward. Step Forward for Positive Impact is where magicians take the lead to create value in all that we do. We share knowledge with each other and volunteer our skills to influence change and actively seek clarity to align our efforts for optimal impact. Just to simplify things, this is where we constantly share informations and all the latest updates in technologies and all is where we share in our WhatsApp group. And to push boundaries under Think Beyond is where we study future trends to trailblaze, and we are curious about exploring possibilities and make new discoveries. And magicians are very courageous, and we change really quickly and implement new ways of doing things just very, very fast and quick. Moving on to the next slide is also how I want to share with all of you on how we gamify the 3 wow elements that we have. This is our very own Magic Wow app, and the magicians can actually accumulate rewards with their participations in our staff engagement programs. And they can actually accumulate points by attending modules on our learning management system. And any virtual staff engagement program that they participate will also accumulate, because moving on to the next slide is where I would like to share all of you on the sample of a screenshot of this wow app that we have. So there's a sugar cube, camp houses, events, and even a shop where you can redeem your points with the social impact. Buy for impact programs that we have. So Sugar Cube is where, we used to write in a small notes, thank you, you have been such a supportive colleagues, instead of writing that in the notes, you actually write that in your iPhone or your Android. And in the Sugar Cube is where you give that little acknowledgement that sometimes can make one's day. And camp houses is where we are on the day you join Magic, you will be divided into different camp houses and you will participate in different events that will help you to win. Unfortunately, Casey, I'm currently with Matterhorn. We're not doing too well there. So, but that doesn't stop me from giving points to other colleagues. And while I give points, I also earn some points, which I can redeem and shop online. Moving on to the next slide is this is a very interesting shift that we have made this year. Thank you to my team. Some of them or all of them are here with us today. How we quickly change into having this virtual staff engagement online. When pandemic first struck us, we couldn't think of a way how best can we reach out to them. So interestingly enough, in just within a short period of time, we get to organize a different kind of virtual staff engagement. As you can see there, we have Magicians TikTok Challenge that is very much liked by the participants, the magicians. We also have our 100-kilometer virtual run, and where you can actually install the app and we can know that how many kilometers that you have taken during that period of time. And the other thing is also the spiritual part, where we also share from time to time on some spiritual motivational talk. Moving on to the next slide. Yes, this is also very, very important. The pandemic is definitely having a devastating mental health impact on people all over the world, and we are not scared.
Farah, you need to wrap up as soon as possible.
Okay, the grief among those who have lost one, the fear of losing a job and all. So having that in mind is where we provide mental health awareness program for magicians through webinars. There are two webinars that we run, and also e-counseling that is made available and free for everyone. all they need to do is to just register with a certified counselor. So the trend that we have, we don't want to take things for granted. We believe that we can reach out to our staff members, and hence we believe that this mental health awareness will provide that platform. I think that's all from me, Casey.
Wow! Farah,
Thank you.
you guys have such an elaborate system that is so much technology enabled. Okay? So, as we say in Bahasa, Shabas. In English, kudos. So thank you. Good job, Farah and Magic. All right, time for us for move to our third speaker, who actually hails from more of the public sector, the government and public sector. He is Dr. Irving Huang. He's the associate professor at Tamkang University of Taiwan. Professor Huang teaches public human resource management. He's also currently the Secretary General of the Chinese Society for Training and Development Taiwan, and also a longtime member, senior member of ARTDO, and he holds the position of Senior Vice President of ARTDO International. Professor Huang is a very accomplished academician who is a Fulbright scholar. He's very well connected, both domestically and internationally, and has been involved in advisory capacity to various Taiwanese ministerial level committees on public administration affairs. As a Fulbright scholar, he has also done much research with universities in the US, for example, the University of Georgia and the University of Florida. So, with that much accomplishment behind him, he's going to talk to us about the topic, collaboration between private and public workforce to combat COVID-19, Taiwan's success story for the world. Over to you, Professor Huang.
Thank you.
While waiting for Professor Huang to bring up his PowerPoint, please go ahead and load up your questions in the Q&A box. So far, there's only one question, so please load up as possible.
Sorry, can you see me?
Yes.
My PowerPoint? Not yet?
No PowerPoint.
Sorry, I still made a mistake.
No worries. Yes, we see it now, Professor.
But I cannot see you again, my problem. Okay, good evening, good morning, everybody. It's my pleasure to share with you what we have done in Taiwan for fighting against COVID-19. And actually, for me, it's a collaboration between the private sector and public sector work together. And actually, is a long history for Taiwan people to protect, to prevent disease. So especially from the 2007, we have the SARS experiences. So at that time, we did not have enough equipment and we did not have the knowledge. So we tried to find solutions. Very difficult. Afterwards, we got the help from Japan and US, and then we learned lots of things since that time. So this time we have very well prepared and well equipped efforts and to try to prevent the disease. So as you can see, is okay. I'm teaching at Tamkang University, and is just a published paper in the journal we call Public Administration Review, just in June. So as you can see this slide, and there are lots of people in the world, almost 65 million people infected, and more than 1.5 million deaths. But you can see the right-hand side in Taiwan, so far we only have lower than 700 people infected and only 7 days deaths. But still sorry for that. But we still have more than 550 recovered. So far, we did pretty good in Taiwan to prevent the disease for the COVID-19 pandemic. And this, you can see we have lots of efforts. Maybe now we are sure that it's very effective, and we have some important efforts in the past several months. So the first one is the temperature taking. Naufal just mentioned about the almost the same efforts we have done in the many countries. So you getting into the building, you need to take the temperature. In the beginning, we have some little devices to take the temperature, but we found it's hard because when people are getting more and more, you need some electronic devices that we call thermal imager. So just not more than 10 days, the engineer they design and develop this kind of instrument for almost all the buildings. And then we try to keep the virus away. You can see it's don't touch the mouth and your eyes, and you need to have a mask and to when you are sneezing, and also you have some symptoms, please wear on your mask. And you need to use soap to wash your hands very, very frequently. Just Nova mentioned that you need to wash more than more certain seconds, and you need to do some disinfection. So I think it's almost the same efforts we have done in the world. But Taiwan, so far, we only have not more than 700 infected. I think one of the reasons is that we are just a tiny island, and we were lucky that because we have about 20 million tourists a year, but only I'm sorry, there are almost 4 million people from the mainland China came to Taiwan. But last year in December, before November, we have a presidential election. So in December, before November, the government in China, they just announced they will stop the tourists to come to Taiwan. You can see for this about 4 million people, they did not come to Taiwan. We are lucky that because fewer tourists came to Taiwan, we reduced the opportunity to have a pandemic in Taiwan. And we also have a policy to have a mask distribution, and the government control all the production line and require all the private sector to join the production, and we have control the price for mask. And every week, one citizen can buy how many masks is fixed. And then we have a system to require all the pharmacy to sell the mask. So all the citizens need to be in line to wait to buy the mask. And later on, some engineers they just develop the digital. I mean, they can order mask online, so they don't need to be in line so much time. So and then we require other people to have a social distancing. You can see in restaurant, you need to sit just 1.5 meters away, and then we set some kind of transparent partition in the restaurant to avoid infection. So in Taipei City government, this is the employee cafeteria. So everybody is eating and sitting together with the transparent partition. So it's more feasible, and you can see it's effective. So my paper in the public nutrition review, I try to organize all the efforts into a framework. I call it a collaborative governance framework. As you can see on this slide, the left-hand side is infrastructure setting and organization. We have a national health care insurance system for about 30 years. So everyone has the insurance, and we have a card. You can use this card to see any doctors in any hospitals you want to see with a very low price. So it's covered almost all the population in Taiwan. And also we organize a command center for preventing and control the pandemic. And that's the infrastructure. In the center, you can see we have some control and regulation by the government. We have border control and quarantine and mask supply and distribution and social. Also require everybody for the social distance. And then we have resources and technology and communication from the IT personnel. They try to develop the online order system and also the cell phone track. Some people need to be in quarantine situation. So when they move out, the cell phone will alarm and also inform the policeman. So it's some kind of restraint and limit for the personal individual freedom. But under the crisis, most of people think it is necessary to do that. So we apply lots of the resources and technology. And the lower level, you can see collaboration. That's from the mask production. As I mentioned, all the private sector, they are required by the government to produce a mask, because in several years ago, most of the mask manufacturing company, the factories moved to mainland China because of the labor cost concern. But during the COVID-19 time, the manufacturer were asked by the government to reset and to rebuild their assembly line in a very short time, only 2 weeks, and we can provide enough mask for the people in Taiwan. And also we have a pharmacy association. They help the distribution for the mask. And also we have some tourist sightseeing area. Some peddler, they have an association. So some volunteers, they will join the work to require all the tourists to have some, so to keep the social distance and keep the amount of the crowd, so it can be more safe to control the infection. So in the right hand side, for me, is some kind of, we call public participation and compliance. So the people are obedient. So we have the virus awareness and mask wearing habit since the SARS period. So we also have some people, they would like to be the whistleblower. When they found some people are required to stay home for 14 days, if they get out, and those volunteers, they will report to the policeman. And we also have some voluntary assistance, something like the people, they will try to deliver the lunch, I mean the food for the people they are staying home for quarantine. So this kind of efforts combined together, I call it is a collaborative governance. That's why I try to share with you the experiences we call the workforce work together to fight against the COVID-19. Okay, so the reason why we can have some success.
Just 2 more minutes.
Yes. Casey, is there any problem?
2 more
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. So mask supply and distribution and cell phone tracking. So allow me to try to summarize all the reason for success. The first is integrate between ministries And the second one is the central government and local government work together. And also we have a community level. They have a security guard try to obey the regulation from the central government. And also for the individual level, people are commitment to try to avoid the infection. So some people argue, is it the influence from Confucianism? Because Confucius, some wisdom from the Chinese people also in Taiwan, we, to some extent, we are not individualism. We work together and live together. So we are more, well, is some kind of collectivism, and we are so obedient and also compliance. So somebody argued that it is because of culture reason that we can have the we have done so far so good. And for the future, we still have some problem because we have about about 500,000 foreign workers from different countries, and now still we don't have the vaccine, and we need to develop new. Well, we are planning to have the vaccine in March next year, and we talk about the HR in the new normal. So now we have some company require people to work from home 2 days in a week. So some other companies will have a HR digitalization. So online selection, online assessment, online counseling. But you see, there will be some problem about we call psychological distancing, because we keep the distance. People are work alone, even they can work from home very free. But you see, in the long run, it will be a loneliness situation. That will be a problem in the future. So we have lots of work to do in the future, and not just adjusting to the new normal. Some philosophy for work need to be changed in the future. That's my sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Huang. Right. So some very, very deep insights from our three very powerful speakers. You can be seeing that there is a lot of common thread between what the three different organizations from three different countries have from a HR human capital perspective to win in the battle against COVID-19. So with that, I think before I summarize, we still have some time to open up for Q&As. And we have only one so far, so please go ahead and load up. Okay, here it is. It is coming. Okay, so I will take the first question and give it to now Naufal. Okay, and it's coming from our 2015 HR manager of Petro China. Okay, so Papa, the question for you is, in this new normal form, what tools which already create to monitoring employees still work at home? So what tools do you have to monitor employees work from home? Over to you, Papa.
Okay, thank you, Yan. Thank you, Kishi. Actually, we don't have special tools that to monitor our employee whether they still work at home, work from home, or work from anywhere, shopping center, for example. But we have ways to monitor our employee whether work from home or not. First, we have online presence record in every morning. Yeah, I think this is very useful in organization. Yeah, we have online presence record in every morning, and also in every morning we conduct the morning briefing, yeah, to assurance their presence in every day. Yeah, 15 minutes to for morning briefing. Then the third, every employee must stay connected. Yeah, stay connected. For example, if the superior call by phone, for example, the subordinates must answer in 30 seconds until or call back in 1 minute after the superior call him. Yeah. Then the fourth, we conduct coaching one-on-one periodically, yeah, for communicates and monitor the employee progress. That is my answer, Kisi.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you. Very, very,
Bu Vivin, yeah, from HR manager Petrochina. Thank you, Bu Vivin, for your question.
yes, excellent. Okay, second question for Professor Huang from Indah Ramawati from BPGS. Okay, and the question for Professor is public-private collaboration has been a key driver in country strategy for successful integration into the global economy. How, for developing countries, focus on export-led growth strategies must be established?
Well, it's a good question, but it's hard to answer. For my experience, we only focus on the internal, I mean, in country inside. You see, that's a trend we call PPP, that public-private partnership. I think it's much more easier because the government try to find the partner from the private sector because they can provide some benefits for the companies, so they have the motivation to join to participate in the public services. To some extent, some kind of public construction or some public service they can provide because they can earn the profit. But for the international collaboration, I think it's more complicated. The first one, you need to find some supply who need, and you can supply something, and the other side they will need something. So based on that, they can work together. And also, I think in recent years, the ASEAN is a good example. Now we have almost 20 countries can work together and to reduce the custom, and that's the first step. And we can work together for construction or some infrastructure from the government investment and invite some other famous or big company from other countries to work together. I think that's the main steps we can take. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I know there's a few more questions. Unfortunately, due to time constraint, you can have your private conversations with our speakers during the next coming day also. So you may direct your questions, okay, to Professor, to Puan Farah, and to Baba. Let me just very quickly summarize. Okay, I think that in any our new normal going forward, we got to have what I call the 3 Ps. The 3 P stands for philosophy. What is our philosophy in terms, okay, of having the new way of thinking into the future? All right, so we must have a very strong philosophy. Then we must have strong processes. We must be able to be very clear, how the work gets done, how the collaboration gets done, okay, how the engagement gets done, how the motivation gets done. So we must have very clear processes. And then we must have very clear practices. What I mean by practices is then obviously at the moment of truth, the discipline, the action, the follow through, the compliance, the obedience. There is always, okay, as shown very, very nicely by magic, there's a lot of things that you can put through with the help of technology. with the help, okay, of digital technology. But it is not only the digital technology, but it's the fact that, you know, the HR people, the business managers must begin to very quickly, creatively reconfigure, all right, the HR engagement processes, team building, collaboration, and all that, okay, in different ways, okay, and Magic has very clearly showed you of how they take existing, face-to-face based type of HR dynamics and put it, okay, into a remote, into a digital enabled process. So we will need that. So with that, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your presence. I'm sure you took away a lot from the three speakers, as I have. And so with you, this is our ending for our first day. So have a nice evening, and we will see each other tomorrow. Dengan itu, bye.
Thank you, PC.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
awesome moderator Casey Yan. For your information, if you want to meet our moderator Casey Yan now, please go to the booth exhibition for conversation on cultural agility. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.